Big news coming out on Gabriel for Manchester United. Diego Leon on the plane to Manchester with his announcement coming sometime next week, sometime in the next few days. The Gyokeres situation gets worse, but not for Manchester United. For Sporting, what are Manchester United's latest plans when it comes to the striker signing? What's the latest on Sancho? Casemiro's future? And Mbeumo, what's the latest on that? How close is that? Because Chelsea were only really looking at João Pedro earlier today. They've been linked to him for a little bit, and they've already got here we go for João Pedro. What is taking United so long on Mbeumo? What is the latest on Malacia? Is he set to stay? And more. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another Manchester United news, transfer news, and update show where we're going to round up all the latest news in 10 minutes for you guys. You might be wondering, Alice, why do you have sunglasses on? And that is literally because I had a very late night last night. I threw a party, and I am a little bit hungover. So that's why the sunglasses are on, because my head, it still hurts. It still hurts. But let's get into the news. Let's get into the stories by talking, first of all, about Gabriel. Gabriel has decided to stay at United after key meetings with Wilcox and Hargreaves changed his mind about leaving this summer. So if you're wondering who Gabriel is arguably the most talented player we have in the academy in terms of for his age. Now, he's probably not mentioned as much as other academy players like Shea Lacey, because Shea Lacey's sort of 17 on the, that's sort of the age where you consider breaking them through, whereas Gabriel is only 14, so he's much younger. But he's considered the kid Messi. He's been playing a few games for the under-18s in the back end of this season that's just finished, and was looking really good for the under-18s. So to play under-18s football at age 14 is ridiculous. He's been basically dubbed the kid Messi, one of the highest rated wonder kids in football. So that's why him signing a new deal at Manchester United is brilliant news for Manchester United, because Barcelona are after him. Look at Barcelona, look at the talented kids at Barcelona, look at the Barcelona academy. It's like a different level. Barcelona went in for Gabriel. I think he was spotted hanging with like Yamal or something as well. There's always a feeling he was going to go to Barcelona, but he's decided to stay at Manchester United after meetings with Wilcox and Hargreaves. And I have to say, Jason Wilcox, say what you like about him, but when it comes to the academy work, he obviously knows what he's doing. He did a great job at City, and he seems to be doing a really good job at Manchester United. Now, talking of another academy player who the hope is that he will break into the first team but probably spend the next year in the academy, one for the future, is Diego Leon. Diego Leon will fly to Manchester in the next 48 hours for his official unveiling as a new Manchester United player. So we've known for a while that Diego Leon will be a Manchester United player, but we've been waiting for things just like to go through for the summer, all of that stuff. He will be unveiled as Manchester United player. We signed him back in January. He's coming in. He's a left wing back. We've spoken about him in the past. Good signing. I think he's very Sekou Kone, Shido type player, where there's probably not much plan for him to play much next season, but he'll go in the academy, see how he does, potentially make his way into the first team. Now, let's talk about first team players and potential first team signings, because a lot has been going on with Victor Gyokeres. And look, I don't know if he's going to Manchester United. Arsenal went in for him, but Arsenal like Sesko. I think if Arsenal gets Sesko, there's a strong chance he goes to Manchester United. But we're still here waiting on Arsenal. They could hurry up and make a decision, couldn't they? We're still here waiting on Arsenal. But it has been said by Romano that Sporting Director had said this. Sorry if we've got lag as well. It's not even my Wi-Fi that's playing up. StreamYard, which I use to film on, is just really laggy at the moment. So I do want to apologise if we do have any lag while recording. But obviously the Sporting President has reportedly said this. Following Sporting's president's quotes, Victor Gyokeres has no intention to come back and play again. Gyokeres has already informed the club about it as per Record Portugal. Gyokeres has basically said to Sporting, I'm never coming back and playing again. The sporting director of Sporting said that today there is a strong chance, the president of Sporting said today there's a strong chance that Victor Gyokeres will leave. I won't say what that value is. The player knows what it is. I can say that Victor won't leave 60 plus 10. He won't leave. He absolutely won't leave. Now, obviously, the last president of Sporting before he left had an agreement that Victor Gyokeres could leave for 60 plus 10 to reward him for staying last summer when he had interest, because then he could leave for an achievable fee. New sporting director's come in. He said, well, I didn't agree with that. The other sporting director agreed that with you. He's not having it. He's saying, you're not going. We want more money for you because look at what Superman they went for. And he's about a couple months younger than you and he's more defensive. Look what United paid for Cunha. We want more for you, is what Sporting are demanding in regards to Gyokeres. Gyokeres cannot stand that. And I have to say, I don't like the mess that comes along with this Gyokeres situation, which puts me off him, not just because Arsenal's his preference, but the mess that comes along with Victor Gyokeres has put me off him. But I will say to Sporting, Sporting are completely wrong here. If you've given an agreement, even if it's a different president, and said to him, thanks for staying, we'll make sure next season you can go for this price, and you don't stick to your agreement, Gyokeres has every right to be annoyed. And also, other players who are looking to come to Sporting might see that and go, actually, maybe not. Maybe not. So for me, I think Sporting, if they agreed to let him go for whatever it was, 60 plus 10, which is still a good fee, they should let him go for 60 plus 10. Continuing on, obviously we're working on Mbeumo. We should get an Mbeumo, here we go, soon. But what else is coming out in regards to United? The Muppeteers said selling Sancho and Antony may be enough for Manchester United to make a move for a striker. We know after signing Mbeumo, we want to sign a striker, but we won't be able to sign a striker unless some sales happen. And selling Sancho and Antony may be enough to get a striker move over the line, even though we're not going to make that much money in regards to pure profit for selling those two players. It's more about the fact that getting them off the wage bill, the money it frees up, the funds potentially could be there for a striker. In regards to Jadon Sancho, the United Muppeteers did give an update on the latest in regards to Jadon Sancho, and they did say that Sancho's made his priority one of the Italian clubs. He likes Napoli and Juventus. His priority is one of them. It looks like right now Juventus are closer because Napoli is sort of stepping away from the deal because they can see that Sancho is trying to leverage a big pay package from one of those clubs, which Napoli don't like. Juventus is up their interest and an offer could be presented to United soon, which is good there. Juventus are interested in United. And we basically had reports come out. I think it might have been Romano. It was someone credible that said basically Fenerbahce, Napoli and Juventus were all willing to pay up United and give them the 20-25 million they wanted for Sancho. But the problem was Sancho wanted the wages. Now Fenerbahce were offering the wages, but he wants to stay in the top 5 league. So he's been using Fenerbahce and Napoli to get the highest wages he can out of Juventus. Sancho just needs to leave Man United, ignore who's advising him. I think Sancho's just going to run down his contract for the money at this rate, unless Juventus give him a really high wage offer, which is what Sancho is trying to do. But Juventus have up their interest and an offer may be presented to United soon, said the Muppeteers, in regards to a Jadon Sancho exit. Hopefully he gets out of here. I don't know what's going to happen with Sancho, but selling Sancho and Antony will be enough, hopefully, for United to bring in a striker. Now, let's talk about midfielder, because Manchester United actually made a 50 million offer for a midfielder last summer. I'm pretty surprised we made a 50 million bid for a centre mid last summer. But Alfredo Padella, who's a good source of information, said last summer Man United offered 50 million for Ederson, but Atalanta wanted 60 million. Manchester United and Atalanta are still currently in talks and will have to wait and see if anything significant develops from these discussions in the near future. So Padella is actually confirmed. Last summer we made a 50 million bid for Ederson, 50 million bid for a centre mid last summer, which I didn't know that. I don't know if anyone else reported that. I didn't know that. So that's quite a big update there. I'm surprised we didn't get any info on that. Maybe it was he was who we wanted and not Ugarte, but we thought he was too much. But then I think Ugarte ended up costing about 50 million. I don't know. But obviously we've been linked to Ederson again this summer. We clearly have interest in Ederson, and if we made a bid last summer, we must have liked him. So I think Ederson's one to watch, especially if we did make a bid for him last summer. It could be one to watch because we know that Amorim wants to sign a midfielder. We've had a lot more tier 1 incredible sources come out lately and say Man United want to sign a midfielder. So this is definitely one to watch. In terms of another one to watch, it's Mbeumo. We should get the here we go soon. It's just taking its time. Basically, Brentford feel Mbeumo is worth more than Cunha now. Brentford originally thought Mbeumo was worth the same as Cunha. We offered them the same as Cunha. They now believe it's worth more than Cunha. Brentford believed Mbeumo was a £55 million player and they would have sold for 55 million. Then we got told that Brentford wants 60 million. They want 60 million. Then we got told they want the same as what we paid for Cunha, so we offered them the same as what we paid for Cunha. And now Brentford have decided they think that Mbeumo is worth more than Cunha. Look, I think Mbeumo is more than worth £60 million if we're going off how good he's been the last 3 seasons. I think 70 million would be overpaying. We need him. We need him desperately. Just honestly, give them an extra 2 million add-ons, get the deal over the line. I don't even care anymore. United think the bid is fair, but this gap isn't huge. It's not a huge gap, which is good. There's not much in it. They probably want an extra 3 million quid. I think they're just trying to squeeze what they can out of Manchester United. They're just trying to squeeze what they can out. And last but not least, Romano did say that PSV Eindhoven will not trigger the option to buy Malacia, which means he comes back to United, which is a shame. I think injuries have massively let down Malacia, but hopefully he can find a move. And sorry, last but not least is about Casemiro. And Mullock of the Mirror did say that Casemiro is set to stay at United next season. So we've got Malacia not going to PSV. So as of now, he's staying at United, but we want to sell him. And Mullock of the Mirror is saying that Casemiro is set to stay at United next season. So that's all your latest Manchester United news rounded up in 10 minutes. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.